here we're asked that out of the 100 books that a librarian picks up for reshelving, are fewer than 20% of the books on history. So this is a yes/no question. I'll start with statement one, which says less than 20% of the books in the library are on history. Now, even though less than 20% of the books in the library are on history, of these 100 books that the librarian picked, I mean, the 70% could be history because the 100 books that were checked out were predominantly on history. So in that case, the answer would be a no. But we could also have only 10% of those that were being reshelved on history, in which case the answer would be a yes. So one alone is insufficient. So key idea is just because there are less than 20% of the books on history doesn't mean that the books that were checked out would correspond to that same percentage. Statement 2 says, during the past 3 weeks, exactly 15 books were on history were borrowed. Now, these 100 books that were returned, maybe there were more than 100 books that were borrowed. We have no idea about that number. But the key thing is, if this is the upper limit, if that at most 15 books were borrowed, were on history, then even if all those 15 books were returned and they were part of these 100 books, in that case, that would only be 15%. That's the upper limit of the number of history books in that pile. So the answer would be yes, meaning it will be sufficient because 15 is really the upper limit. They're asking, is it less than 20%? I mean, it could be less than 15% because maybe only 5 of those 100 books are, but at most will be 15. And so with statement 2 alone, it is sufficient. We'll have less than 20% of the books in that pile that fall under history. So 2 alone is sufficient. Answer is B.